Hi friends, my name is Akil Ahmed, and in this particular video tutorial we will see how to handle the errors in script task in SSIS. So the agenda of today's video tutorial is that we will log the error messages from script task to a new flat file for every failure, and the error file will have the current date and time in it so that we can easily identify the files for each date. So normally what happens if you are using a script task in the SSIS packages, and if the script task fails, then it shows a very generic message and you won't be able to tell like what is the actual reason for the failure of the script task. So there can be lots of reason for the failure, but the script task does not show the actual reason. Okay, so to know the actual reason for the failure, we log the error messages from script task to a flat file, or you can also log to a SQL Server table as well. It's up to you, but in this video I will try to log the error messages from the script task to a flat file, and the flat file will be created every time according to the current date time so that you can easily identify. Yeah, so let's jump to the demo. So I got this blank SSIS package, and let me try to drag and drop the script task into the control flow window so that we can start working on it. Now let me create one of the variable here, and I can call the variable as ID. Okay, and I can set some value here. Okay, so for this particular variable maybe I can set the value as 100. Okay, now let me right click and configure the script task. Let me click on the edit script. So the script editor window has been opened up, and I just want to use the value of the ID variable that I declared. Okay, so I want to use it here. So what I can do, I can declare a local variable, maybe I can call it as a, int a equal to, and then I can just get the value from the variable dts.variables. Okay, and in the double quotes I can just copy the name of the variable. So my variable name is id dot value. Okay, and now because this is of type integer, so I need to typecast it to integer. So I can write convert dot to int 32. Okay, and this should be converted to the integer now. Okay, so this is the code that I have written. This is just one line of code. I just want to show you like how to log the errors. So you can write tons of code and that should be fine. So I just written one line of code. Now let me do one thing. Let me click on file, exit, click OK. So I'm just saving the code, and then we'll try to execute this particular code. Okay, so the code has been saved. Now let me click on start button and try to execute this script task. So you can see that the task got failed. Okay, and in the error messages it is not showing any actual reason, but it is giving a generic message. So we don't know like what is the error message. So your script task can contain hundreds or thousands of lines of code, and if you got this kind of error message, then you won't be able to tell like at which line it is failing or what is the error message. Okay, so you can't tell. So now we don't know like what is the error message. So I can close this one. So now I want to handle the errors. I want to know like why it is failing, what is the error message. Okay, I want the error message to be logged somewhere. Okay, so what I can do, I can right click on the script task, click edit. I can reopen the script editor. Alright, so the script editor window has been opened up. Now we will use the try and catch blocks to handle the errors. So let me open this pre-written code. So I have these two lines of code, and what they will do, we can add it in the beginning. So the first line of code, current date time. So this will give you the current date and the time in this particular variable, and then I have declared another variable log folder. Okay, so we need to create a log folder somewhere so that when the error will occur, so the SSIS package will create the log file to that particular folder. Okay, so right now the log folder will be inside the d files logs. Okay, so in the d files log, so right now we don't have a folder, so I can create a folder here, logs. Okay, and right now the folder is empty. Now we need to use the try and catch block. So whatever code that you think can fail, or you can just put all the code inside the try block. Okay, so we use the try block here, and then after the try block we can use the catch block. So whatever code that can fail, it will be inside the try block, and then inside the catch block there will be the code that will actually handle the error messages. So when any exception will occur inside the try block, the control will move to the catch block. Okay, and in the catch block it will create a new file So it seems like it is missing some namespace system.io, so I can click on show potential fixes using system.io. Okay, so what it will do, it will create a new file every time inside the log folder, and the file name will be error log underscore current datetime.log. Okay, and the actual exception will be written to that particular file. So these are the few lines of code that you can add to every script task that you have, and it can handle the errors. Okay, so this is the code. So I will share this code with you so that you can also use it in your environment as well. Now let me click on file, exit. Let me save this code, and then I can rerun the SSIS package. So I have saved the script task. Now let me click on start button, and it should execute the SSIS package, and it should create a new file. So right now it ran successfully because it handled the errors. Okay, and in case if you want to fail, then we can also try to fail it in case of any failure, but right now it will run successfully. Okay, so let me close this one and let me go to the logs. So you can see a new log file got created here, error log underscore current datetime.log, and if you open this particular log file, so you can see the actual error message. So this is the error message: the element cannot be found in a collection. It means that you are trying to use a variable that you have not used inside the read only variable or read write variable. Okay, so this is the error message for the variables: the element cannot be found in a collection. Okay, so now the reason is that we have used the id variable inside the script task, but we have not used it inside the read only variable or read write variable. So let me select it inside the read only variable because we are just trying to read the data from the id. So I can click on OK. Okay, now let me rerun it, and now this time it will run successfully and it won't create any log file because there is no error now. Okay, so it ran fine. Now let me try to write some other code and try to fail on some other message, so you can see some different message as well. Okay, alright, so the script editor window has been opened up, and here we have got the value from the id into a local variable a. Now let me declare another variable, and I will call it as int source, and I will assign value maybe 1000 to it. Okay, and then I will declare another variable and I will call it as b, and b will be like source divided by a. Okay, I can call actually this a with the id because this is the id, so that we won't get confused. Okay, so now what we will do, we will divide this 1000 with the id that we will provide from the SSIS variable. Okay, and the final value will be inside the variable b. Now let me try to show this value, whatever will be the divider, in the message box. Okay, so that we can see the value, message box dot show, and what is the value? I can call it like final value from b is, and we can show the value b dot, I can do to string. Okay, so this is how it will work. So now when I will execute the package, so 1000 will be divided by 100 and the final value will be 10. Okay, so let's see how it will work, and then we will try to set the value of the id to 0 so that it can also fail and we can get a divide by 0 error. Okay, so that's the final plan. So let me click on the start button, and it should give the value as 10 in the message box. So you can see that final value from b is 10 because we passed the value as 100 in the id variable. Now if I pass the value as 10, so it will give the value as 100. Okay, you got it. So it got the value 100. Now let me try to pass the value as 0, and this time it should fail. So this time it did not shown any message because it got failed, and you can see the error message in the logs folder. So a new file got created here, 850, the second file, this one, and if I open this particular file, so you can see that attempted to divide by 0. Okay, so you can easily know like at which line it is failing, so you can get the actual error message using this particular method, and for every failure a new file will be created. Okay, and right now it ran successfully, and in case if you think that in case of a failure the script task should also fail, then we can try to fail it as well in case of failure. So let me show you how we can fail the script task in case of a failure, but it will also log the error message. Okay, alright. So if you come to this particular code inside the catch block, so in case of the failure, the control will move to the catch block. Okay, so inside the catch block, what we will do, we can copy this particular code and we will put it here, and now instead of the success we will set it to failure. Okay, and now you need to write return here. Okay, so that it will fail it and it will return. So I can click on file, exit. Okay, now let me try to rerun the SSIS package. So now you can see that because it went to the catch exception, so that's why it got failed, and it failed the script task as well. And in case of the good value from the ID, and in case of the normal behavior, when there won't be any error message, then the task will run successfully. So this time it should return the 100 value. Final value from B is 100. Okay, so this is working fine. So I will share all the code that I used here, and you can download it from the link in the description of the video. So I think that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching the video, and if you like the video, then please click the like button. Do subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon and click on all so that you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much.